In his budget statement on Wednesday, Rishi Sunak set to unveil yet another £5 billion for the National Health Service. That's 5,000 million, or 5 followed by 9 zeros. That's in addition to a £12 billion NHS maintenance fund uplift, and on top of the 3-year £36 billion additional funding for NHS and social care announced just a few weeks ago, which ministers have since admitted will overwhelmingly be allocated to the NHS. The growth in the NHS budget over recent years has been astonishing. The Health Department spent £212.1 billion in 2020-21. That's up from £150.4 billion the previous year, a 40% increase, which in part reflects the COVID pandemic. As recently as 2008, the NHS budget was £118 billion. So we've seen a 78% rise in NHS spending over little more than a decade of austerity spending, according to many. During lockdown, non-COVID treatments were scaled back. As a result, nearly 6 million people are now waiting for routine operations, the longest NHS waiting list since records began. Life-changing procedures including hip and knee replacements and cataract operations are among the treatments most longest delayed. 1 in 10 of us are now on an NHS waiting list. That represents untold human suffering. No wonder the government wants to be seen throwing money at our health service. But is more money the answer? How about spending the existing huge NHS budget better? The UK prides itself on free at the point of use healthcare. This is a principle many of us are rightly proud of, a principle I would robustly defend. But surely there must be a better way to deliver universal healthcare for all without relying on a single monolithic, often wasteful organisation employing an astonishing 1.3 million people. We're constantly told the NHS is the best in the world. Really? Check out these conclusions from a pre-pandemic study by the Institute of Fiscal Studies, the King's Fund and the Nuffield Trust, 3 of the most highly respected research bodies in our country. Among its strengths, the NHS does better than health systems in comparable countries at protecting people from heavy financial costs when they're ill. Well, of course it does. It's free at the point of use. Its main weakness, the study continued, is healthcare outcomes. The UK appears to perform less well than similar countries on the overall rate at which people die when successful medical care could have saved their lives. Although the gap has closed over the last decade for stroke and severe forms of cancer, the report continues, the mortality rate in the UK among people treated for some of the biggest causes of death, including cancer, heart attack and stroke, is higher than average among comparable countries. The UK also has high rates of child mortality around birth. Health Secretary Sajid Javid is setting up an NHS delivery unit to oversee an efficiency drive. Other cabinet ministers privately warn Sajid needs to get a grip of health spending. Not only so additional money translates into more operations, clearing the huge backlog, but there will also be serious political fallout if our health service keeps drawing money away from social care. It's almost impossible to suggest meaningful NHS reforms, even if, like me, you insist on free at the point of use provision. NHS insiders calling out inefficiencies have been drummed out of their jobs or ostracised, and outsiders calling for change are often dismissed as heartless or much worse. Yet we can only improve the NHS, getting more and better health care for the huge sums that we spend on it, if we stop deifying this complex institution, recognising its strengths but also its countless weaknesses and inefficiencies, instead of pretending that they don't exist. These weaknesses should be vigorously addressed, and that's why this question simply must be posed and with attitude. And the question is this: the NHS, is more money really the answer?